How are you doing? Okay, so I wanted to share some ways that God speaks to me. Okay, because they're so fun and I love it. Okay, so here are a few ways that God speaks to me. So basically, like even today, right? This is so crazy. You're gonna love it. Okay, so basically, I felt led to go to this Korean place to eat. My heart was kind of like hurting. And I was like, man, I just feel bad that I have to like turn someone down, like I feel like I don't like to disappoint people, right? And it's just sad because when you tell the truth, you do have to disappoint them. So anyway, so I called this friend of mine and I just started crying, right? And after I met like a few people at the restaurant, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go to the store and just like look around. And I noticed this guy like walking back and forth, and I saw him 3 times, right? So I was like, I don't know why, but I was just like, I need to get a hat, like a beanie. I was like, I need to look for a beanie. And I noticed one that really stuck out to me, and it said Louisiana. I was like, okay, that's random, but okay. So I got the hat. They were selling it for $10, and I was like, I'll give you 5. And they're like, okay, it's fine. So I got a hat, and it said Louisiana. So I was like, okay, cool. So I get on the bus, and I noticed the guy that was walking around 3 times. And I was like, okay, I'm going to follow him. And my heart was feeling like, man, my heart feels a little bit broken for some reason. So I follow this guy and I sit next to him and I was like, oh, are you Christian? He's like, yeah, I am. But I could tell he was very like hurt and just very closed off. So I was like, okay. So I talked to him a bit but I could tell he just seemed really closed off, and I prophesied to him. I was like, hey, I hear that you've been very hurt by people and that like don't be afraid to get close to people, right? So he was like, okay, yeah, you're right, So I was like, okay. So he's like, you know what? I was like, I was just gonna go all the way to wherever he was getting off, and then I was gonna call Lyft home, right? So I get off, and he's like, you know what? You should get off early because I live in Skid Row, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So I get off the bus and I'm looking around and I need to pee, right? So I start looking around. Hey, do you guys have a restroom? Do you have a restroom? Do you have a restroom? And like, hey. And so should I let you on? I don't know. And wait, let me finish talking about this and then I'll let you on. Okay, so I look for places to pee and I see tender greens, right? So I'm like calling a Lyft. I'm trying to get home because I have like dinner at 7. So I see tender greens and I go in, use the restroom. They have a restroom, and I come out. So the Lyft basically changed drivers like 3 times. So I'm like, okay, wow, this driver's 15 minutes away and my phone is dying. So I like go back in, and then like I ask if they have a charger, and then I see this guy. In the morning, the Lord told me to wear glasses, and I was like, okay. So basically, this is the way God speaks to me. He tells me where to go, who to talk to, and I get the feeling in my heart like I'm drawn to certain people, right? So he also tells me what to wear. I'm not even kidding. He tells me what to wear. And so, like, for example, he told me to wear glasses this morning, right? So I meet this guy at the cashier and we start talking, and I'm like, hey, can I sit with you? And I was like, oh, can I get a ride home? And he's like, yeah. So I cancel my ride. And when we get like, there was a lot of circumstances that basically led us to that point of where we were, because I never go to downtown at that time of the day. Like, I don't even take the bus that often anymore. So we talked and it was just like crazy because he's not even from like LA. And so I was like, oh wow, this is a divine appointment. And turns out he wears glasses. So basically, like, I'll wear something that like it's like um that person is gonna wear. It's the weirdest thing, but it happens all the time. Every day, actually. The other day, God told me to wear red. I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna wear red dress. and I meet an Uber driver. It was the night of my birthday. He's wearing red, and that was my divine appointment. And he was Christian, and we went to go eat dinner. And yeah, his story was very similar to mine, and so on and so forth. So today, God told me to wear purple, so I wore this purple dress, right? Okay, so I had a meeting, a date at 7, right? So this guy, he's also Christian, so he picks me up and he gives me a purple flower. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so weird because God told me to wear purple. So I had this hat and it says Louisiana. And I'm like, yeah, I got this hat on the street. It says Louisiana. And then he's like, oh, that's the first place that I moved to when I came to America. And I was like, what? That's so crazy. Actually, I kind of want to show you. Hold on. Because y'all be like, what? So random. Because, why would they sell, a hat in LA? And it was, on the street. It was just, one of those vendors, Espanol, and so, yeah, I was just like, okay, and it matches, right? Lakers color. So it's what are the chances? And so I just thought, wow, God, you're so funny. I actually really like it. And so those are some of the ways that God speaks to me. I remember one time God told me wear sandals. He'll actually tell me what to wear, which is crazy because some people are like, is that annoying that God kind of tells you what to wear, where to go? I'm like, no, it's fun. It's I mean, sometimes I don't listen because yesterday I met up with someone that I've never met before, and I heard wear glasses, and he wore glasses, and I was like, okay, God, I get it. But for example, one time I heard wear boots, so I went to the Abbey and I met someone in line, and he was wearing boots, and I was like, what? Another time, God told me to wear sandals, and I went to Popeyes, and I met my neighbor that I've never met before, and he was wearing sandals, and it was a freaking rainy day, so there's no reason for me to wear sandals. I'm like, God, this doesn't make any sense. But yeah. Sometimes I get messages about numbers and visions. I've had dreams about basically meeting what's it called? I've had dreams about meeting people that I the next day met. But I love the color stuff. It's just we're purple. It's oh, okay, this guy gave me purple flowers. And purple is a color of royalty, right? So it's just so much fun. It's a lot of fun when you follow the spirit of God. Um I have so many stories, but I think I love the story of when I went to Vegas and God was just again having a breakthrough in my heart. And someone had promised to pick me up and he didn't, and I felt really disappointed. I felt super triggered, ended up crying, and then basically what happened was that I called my friend. I was like, oh, I'm so disappointed in men, and when I get close to them, they disappoint me. I'm scared of disappointment, all this stuff. So that day, I was like, I'm getting out of here. I just got here, but I'm going out. I'm leaving LA. I mean, I'm leaving Vegas. So I get to the airport, and I'm going to every single counter, asking, do you have flights back to LA? And someone was like, why don't you just rent a car and drive back to LA? I was like, oh my God, you're right. So I jump on the rent a car shuttle and I hear go to the front of the bus and I see a man. And God, I'm just like, are you Christian? He's like, yeah. And so we ended up talking, and then we ended up going to eat and just talking for a long time. And yeah, so some of my divine appointments very, 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 very crazy, and sometimes very frustrating, like the way God leads me, I guess, to like divine appointments, because it's never like a one-way street. It's never easy. It's never just simple. It's sometimes very like complicated, but then I feel peace when I do meet that divine appointment. I'm like, oh, I found home. I found the lost sheep. I found the person who was very isolated or lonely, or I found you. Like, I found you. And it's like this feeling of like, I feel like I've met you like a million years ago. I've known you for a million years. Like, those are the people, those are the tribe. That's just people of the same tribe. Um, so yeah, like, love it. Love how God leads me. And just love the whole color scheme, like when like God speaks to me in colors, and he tells me like what shoes to wear, and like sometimes just like don't get it and I don't listen. But I mean, it's just fun when I do listen, and then it's like true. So yeah, it's so much fun. Anyways, that's all. God bless you. Oh, you wanted to join, right? I'll give you a call. All right, bye. Bye. Anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my blog, rebekkalien.com, and what else? I forgot. Make sure to subscribe to my blog. Subscribe to my podcast, The Beck Show. If you'd like to make a donation to this ministry, you can do so on my website. Bye. Boo.